It was supposed to be a quiet weekend. The cabin stood alone in the woods, far from the city. Tall trees, cold air, and complete silence. Mark and his wife, Emily, came here to relax. No phones. No noise. Just peace. But peace did not last long. On Saturday morning, a loud knock hit the cabin door. Not a normal knock. It was hard. Angry. Repeating. Mark looked at Emily. "Who could that be?" he asked. Emily stayed quiet. Her face turned serious. Mark opened the door slowly. A woman stood outside. She wore sunglasses, tight clothes, and had a clipboard in her hand. Her lips were tight, and her eyes looked angry. Behind her stood two men. "I am from the HOA," the woman said loudly. "My name is Karen. We need to inspect this cabin. Now." Mark was confused. "This cabin is private," he said. "We are not part of any HOA." Karen laughed. "Everyone in this area is under HOA rules," she said. "You have 5 minutes to let us in, or you will face fines." Emily stepped closer to the door. "We did not get any notice," she said calmly. "You cannot just come here." Karen raised her voice. "I don't need to give notice. I am the HOA president." She pushed the door slightly. Mark blocked it with his arm. "You cannot enter without permission," he said. Karen's face turned red. "You people think you are above the rules," she shouted. "I will make sure this place is shut down." The two men behind her looked uncomfortable. They stayed silent. Karen pointed at the cabin. "This place looks illegal," she said. "I demand a full inspection." Emily looked calm, but her eyes were sharp. "Mark," she said softly. "Let them talk." Karen smiled. "Smart choice," she said. She stepped closer and started listing rules. No approval sign. Old wood. Fire risk. Illegal fence. Illegal parking. Mark felt angry. None of it was true. Karen lifted her clipboard. "You will receive heavy fines," she said. "And possibly eviction." Emily took a deep breath. "Karen," she said politely. "Before you do anything, may I ask one question?" Karen crossed her arms. "What? Can you show us written proof that this cabin is under your HOA?" Karen froze for a second. "I don't need to show anything," she said quickly. "I know the rules." Emily nodded slowly. Then she turned and walked inside the cabin. Karen laughed. "She's running," she said. Mark stayed silent. Emily returned holding a brown folder. She opened it calmly. Karen stopped smiling. Emily pulled out papers and spoke slowly. "This cabin was bought 10 years ago," Emily said. "It is not part of any HOA. This land is protected under state law." Karen tried to interrupt. Emily raised her hand. "These documents include land maps, ownership records, and legal protection papers." Karen's face went pale. Emily pulled out the last paper. "And this," she said, "is a legal warrant." Karen stepped back. "A warrant?" she whispered. "Yes," Emily said. "A warrant that protects this property from illegal inspections, harassment, and trespassing." The two men behind Karen looked at each other. Karen started shaking. This must be fake," she said. Emily looked straight at her. "This warrant was issued after multiple HOA harassment cases in this area," she said. "Any HOA member who enters this land without permission faces legal action." Karen dropped her clipboard. Mark finally spoke. "You threatened us," he said. "You tried to force entry." Emily nodded. "And we have cameras," she added. "Everything is recorded." Karen panicked. She turned to the men. "Let's go," she said fast. One of the men shook his head. You didn't tell us this, he said. Karen walked back toward her car without saying a word. Before leaving, she turned once more. This isn't over, she said quietly. Emily smiled. It is, she replied. Karen drove away. The forest became silent again. Mark looked at Emily. Why didn't you tell me about the warrant? He asked. Emily smiled softly. I wanted to see how far she would go, she said. Mark laughed. They closed the door. The cabin was peaceful again. And Karen never came back.